This episode from Driving With Gloves is about a sports car which was named after a famous British fighter aeroplane called the Spitfire. Hi, my name is Cor and welcome to my channel, Driving With Gloves. I always drive with car gloves. Your question might be, why do I drive with gloves? And my answer is, why not? This is the Triumph Spitfire. It was named after the Marine Spitfire aeroplane, which helped the Brits win the Battle of Britain in 1940 against the Nazis. This Triumph Spitfire is from 1978. It's a Spitfire from the 5th generation of Spitfires. Actually, it's a Spitfire 1500. Thanks to Auto Vogel Partner AG in Switzerland, I have the opportunity to drive this car, or must I say, to fly this Spitfire today.
Scramble, 40 bandits approaching 10. Good show.
I have not driven a Spitfire before, and I must admit I have not even driven a Triumph before. But when I moved to Switzerland around 20 years ago, the car next to my car in the garage was a Triumph Spitfire, and I really adored the looks of it. Just look at it. What a pretty little car. The shape, the color, the striping, the complete exterior, it looks so lovely. And the cut-off rear end shows a strong family resemblance to the Triumph Stack and the Triumph 2000 models. And look at the interior. It looks truly sporty. For me, the main question is, how is it to drive? Can a light sports car, which weighs under 800 kilograms, be a true sports car if it only has a 4-cylinder engine with only 72 PS? In other words, is it really true what Colin Chapman said? If you want something for a straight line speed and you have no soul, go buy a Subaru. No, he didn't say that. But what he did say was, adding power makes you faster in a straight line. Subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere. Well, let's find out. Look at that lovely aftermarket Motorlita steering wheel. The steering wheel tells me that it is a must to drive this car with gloves. So let's put on my pilot cap and let's put on, of course, my gloves and start the engine. Well, that sounds good. That really sounds good. Let's go! Had you really expected that this little engine makes such a lovely sound? Well, only by the sound, it seems to be a real sports car. The engine has a 9:1 compression ratio, less restrictive emission control equipment, and the Type HS2 SU carburetors were being replaced with larger Type HS4 models. That is how it got 72 PS at 5500 RPM, and it produces 111 Nm of torque at 3000 RPM. Spitfire 1500 was the fastest they had built. It has a top speed of over 160 kilometers an hour. That doesn't sound much by today's standards, but in the 70s it was incredibly quick. And you must not forget, it's a small car, you're sitting so near to the ground. It feels really fast. It accelerates in a staggering 13.2 seconds. That sounds very slow, but in that period, the new BMW 728 or the S-Class Mercedes 280S were not much faster either. It really feels fast. So is it old-fashioned? Well, you could say it's quite advanced, because you could have ordered an optional overdrive for the third and the fourth gear. So then you had a 6-speed gearbox. Which other car did have that in the 70s? So what's my impression by now? Does it drive fast? Well, it's not so bad actually, but let me show you something. I like skiing, as you can see here. These are modern skis. They are lighter, they are shorter, they are easier to ski with, you go faster with them. But do I use these modern skis? No, these are the skis I normally use. The Triumph Spitfire is a bit like the long skis from the 70s. You can have a lot of fun with them if the actual speed is not the only thing you are looking for in a sports car. And you must not forget, chess is also a sport.
Responsible for the stunning looks is the Italian designer Giovanni Michelotti, who also designed the BMW O2 series or the Maserati A6G 53.
The Triumph Spitfire was introduced on the London Motor Show in 1962. It was largely based on the Triumph Herald.
The first Spitfire was called Spitfire 4.
After 2 years, it was replaced by the Spitfire 4 Mark II, which was similar to the Mark I, but was technically more advanced. The first major facelift came in 1967 with the Mark III.
In 1970, the Mark IV brought the most comprehensive changes to the Spitfire. It featured a completely redesigned cut-off rear end, giving a strong family resemblance to the Spitfire Stag and the Triumph 2000 models, both of which were also Michelotti designed.
Triumph was able to eliminate the worst characteristics from the swing axle design.
Further improvements to the suspension followed, with the 1500 model included longer swing axles and a lowered spring mounting point for more negative camber and a wider rear track. The wider lower stance gave an impressive skid pad result of 0.87 G average, which is the same as a modern Audi Q7. This put the Spitfire head and shoulders over its competition in handling.
fun to drive. The gearbox is very smooth. It's only a bit tricky, the car, when you are driving over bumps. I hope you enjoyed this episode from Driving with Gloves, and thanks to Auto Vogel in Rode in Switzerland, I had the opportunity to drive this beautiful Spitfire 1500. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and subscribe to Driving with Gloves on Facebook.